If you want to sound smarter when you talk to people, say goodbye to these 8 phrases. Communication. It's an essential part of our everyday lives. But sometimes the words we choose can make us seem less intelligent than we really are. Whether it's in a professional setting or casual conversation, the phrases we use can give off an impression about our intellectual capacity, whether we like it or not. So, how can you ensure you're sounding smart and not just talking the talk? Well, one way is to be mindful of certain phrases that might undermine your intellect. In this video, I'm going to share 8 phrases you should steer clear of if you want to sound smarter when you converse with others. Number 1, I'm not a rocket scientist, but in the domain of smart communication, false modesty isn't your friend. Surprising, isn't it? But here's the deal. When you start your sentences with phrases like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but, you're actually undermining your own credibility. What this phrase does is, it preempts your opinion or statement with a disclaimer that you're not an expert, that you might be wrong. But let me ask you this. Why would anyone take your words seriously if you're already doubting yourself? Instead, be confident in your knowledge and communicate your thoughts clearly and assertively. Remember, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to contribute valuable insights. Number 2, to be honest. Now, let's delve a bit into the psychology of language truthiness. It's an intriguing concept. It refers to the instinctive feeling that something is true, even if it isn't backed up by fact or logic. And here's where the phrase, to be honest, comes into play. When you start a sentence with, to be honest, you might think you're emphasizing your sincerity, but hold on a minute. What you're actually doing is raising an unconscious question in the listener's mind. Weren't you being honest before? See, the thing is, we expect honesty as a default in conversations. So when you point it out, it can have the opposite effect. It can actually suggest that you might not always be truthful. Intriguing, isn't it? A simple phrase can create such a significant impact on how people perceive your honesty and intelligence. Number 3, honestly. Following the thread of honesty from our previous point, there's another phrase that also tends to raise eyebrows. Honestly. Much like to be honest, the phrase honestly implies that everything you've said prior to this point may not have been entirely truthful. Ironically, this phrase, meant to emphasize the veracity of your following statement, can actually make you seem less trustworthy. Counterintuitive, isn't it? Moreover, it can make you sound defensive or as if you're trying too hard to prove your point, which can detract from the overall impression of intelligence. So, next time you're about to start a sentence with honestly, take a pause. Consider if it's really adding value to your statement or just undermining your credibility. Number 4, just saying. Have you ever found yourself ending a sentence with just saying? This phrase often follows a statement that might be controversial, offensive, or critical. It's like a linguistic escape hatch, an attempt to soften the impact of what you've just said. But here's something to ponder on. Does it really soften the blow? Or does it just make you seem less confident in your own words? Adding just saying at the end of your point implies that you're not fully standing behind your words. It suggests uncertainty, as if you're ready to retract your statement at the first sign of disagreement. In intellectual discussions, confidence in your ideas is key. If you want to sound smarter, it's better to express your thoughts assertively and stand by them rather than hide behind a just saying. Number 5, I guess. This one hits close to home for me. I used to begin my sentences with I guess quite frequently until I realized how it was affecting my communication. When we use I guess, what we're really doing is diluting our statements. It's a phrase that suggests hesitation or lack of confidence in our own thoughts. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. If we don't believe in our own words or ideas, how can we expect others to? The truth is, if we want to sound smarter and more assertive, we need to convey confidence in our words. And ditching I guess is a step towards that. The next time you catch yourself about to say I guess, pause, replace it with a more assertive phrase. Trust me, it makes a difference. Number 6, it is what it is. Imagine you're in a meeting discussing a complex issue. Someone shrugs and says, well, it is what it is. How would you interpret that? This phrase is often used to express acceptance of a situation that can't be changed. But doesn't it also hint at resignation? Lack of willingness to explore alternative solutions or perspectives. Moreover, in some contexts, it might come off as dismissive or uninterested. Ask yourself this: is "it is what it is" really adding value to your conversation? Or is it just a verbal shrug, a sign of giving up on deeper thinking or problem solving? Reflecting on these questions can guide you towards more intelligent sounding communication. Number 7. Whatever. Years ago, I had a mentor who was known for his intellectual prowess. One day, during a heated discussion, he responded to a point with a dismissive "whatever." The room went silent. This one-word phrase, meant as a casual dismissal, had instantly undermined his carefully constructed image of intelligence. And trust me, it was an uncomfortable moment for everyone involved. Whatever is often viewed as rude or indifferent, showing a lack of interest or a dismissive attitude towards the conversation or the other person's point of view. It's hardly a phrase associated with someone who wants to sound smart. If you want to dismiss a point, there are many polite and intelligent ways to do so that don't involve this word. Saying "I see your point, but I respectfully disagree because" is one way to start. So, if "whatever" is part of your verbal repertoire, you might want to rethink its usage. Number 8, I'll try. Here we are at our final point, and it's a big one. I'll try. On the surface, "I'll try" seems harmless, but when you delve a bit deeper, you realize it's a phrase that implies potential failure. It subtly communicates a lack of commitment or confidence in your ability to complete the task at hand. Think about it. Would you rather hear your surgeon say, "I'll try to do my best during your surgery," or "I will do my best during your surgery"? The difference is subtle but significant. If you want to sound smarter, show confidence and commitment in your abilities. Replace "I'll try" with "I will." It's a small change, but it can make a world of difference in how others perceive your intelligence and competence.